One of the crazy things about most templates that you buy or get is that the logo is always the wrong thing, obviously. Well, let me just show you two quick ways to figure out how to change that logo. Here we have the My City logo, and I can do the same thing as I did before. Right click on it and say Inspect Element, come down to Div ID equals logo, click on the A, and here I can see that the background image is actually in my images directory, and it's called logo.png. So I know this is my images directory because the dot dot slash takes me up one level in the directory structure. So for instance, when I'm looking at my directory structure, the template.css file is found in Breeze, Templates, and the root of my Joomla folder. So I'm telling it here in my CSS folder to go up one level, up one level, up one level, and into my images directory, and there's my logo.png file. So that's how you find the logo file. Now there's two ways then you can change this. You can actually change the CSS to reflect your new logo and replace this one, or you can actually even upload your new logo with the same name in the same directory. Another way of quickly finding this is to click on the images and get image information. This is the Web Developer Toolbar, again another add-on for Firefox, and it allows you to see all of the images that are on your page and get all of the details about them. My personal preference is Firebug, but I thought I'd show you both. So now if I want to replace this image, I just put in my own logo.png file right into the images directory, overwriting the old one, and we're good to go. Now sometimes, if the image isn't the same size, that's going to mess up your template a little bit. You're going to want to make sure that your header area is the right size for your image, or that your image is the right size for your header area. Alright, so I want to show you another way of changing your logo out and manipulating the header area a little bit. It's more covered in our template class, but I thought I'd show you here just to whet your appetite a little bit. So as we've seen, the div ID equals logo is positioned 30 pixels from the left, it has an absolute position, and it's 300 pixels wide. In other words, it looks like that. We know that the background image is in our images directory, and it looks like that. So what happens if we have a logo that we want to change out and it's a little bit bigger or doesn't quite fit in the dimensions we've got? Let me show you some of the things we need to do. The first thing would be to change out the actual logo itself. So if I have a different image here that I have already prepared, I can either put it into my images directory, which is where this is already going, and name it logo.png, or I can put a completely new image in there and call it whatever I want, my new logo. As long as the image is there, it will show up on your website. Now I don't have a new logo yet, so I'm going to leave that in there, and we're just going to assume that we're making some other changes. That's number one. Number two, we know that our header is too small. So we're going to come over to Firebug, and let's take a look and see how big our header needs to be. Let's say our image is 140 pixels high. Well, we've got a problem. So let's just go over with Firebug. Let's increase this, and all I'm doing is holding down the arrow key. Let's make that 180 pixels in the header area, but we notice our menu didn't move with it. So we come down here to Menu, and we find out, as I mentioned, it's absolutely positioned with a top of 100. Let's make it down to 142 pixels, so we can now have a logo that's actually about 140 pixels high and as wide as we want it. We would need to come back up here then, change the width to whatever the width of our new logo is, and when I'm doing this, I usually keep a notepad next to me so I can record these values, or I flip back and forth while I'm doing it, just because once I hit refresh, all of these will go away because we actually haven't changed anything yet. So back in our CSS then, let's change the height of the header to 180 pixels. Let's change the logo width to 500 pixels. We're going to leave that the same even though we know it's different. And in the menu, we're going to move this down to 142 pixels. So I've hit save, and now when I hit refresh, this would be my new logo here. The logo size, as you can see, is increased 500 pixels, and the menu is all moved down. We covered that a lot more in our template class, but I thought I'd give you a little taste of it here.